Hi, everybody. My name is Joe Appello. It's a big day for the Yankees tonight as they play Oakland in the wild card game. George Conner on my left. We're ready to rock and roll today. Give you a little baseball preview, a little football review, and we're ready to go with George. The Yankees win tonight.
Out of his mind today. He is so excited as we film this show on the afternoon of October 3rd. And Joe is basically guaranteed a Yankees victory tonight.
Take it to the bank. Well, can't say that.
Can't say that. You're 2 minutes ago. You're saying let's just preview the Yankees-Red Sox thing.
The whole thing. Yeah, exactly. We'll go lineup for lineup pretty soon. We'll save that toward the end.
Okay.
We'll build up to it.
All right.
Okay.
No doubt in your mind.
No doubt.
No doubt.
There's no doubt. They're ready to focus. They're in New York. Severino's on the mound. He's going to be dealing BBs. They give him
how many innings is he?
5. He gets 5. He gets 5 shutout innings, and then they'll bring in Chad Green, Dave Robertson, Batantis, and Chapman. Bada boo, bada bing, gone.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. It's going to be a long game.
They've been waiting. Nah, it's going to be 10-2. 10-2.
It's going to take forever.
Yeah,
it's going to take forever because the A's have already decided we're going to have 7-8 pitchers go.
Yeah, we have an opener, not a starter.
Not a starter. He's an opener. Hendricks. Yeah. I looked at it. You know, naturally.
They have that fast food business, don't they? Openers and closers and people like that?
Yeah.
So he's an opener.
And sometimes the closer calls in sick, so the opener has to close.
Closer opener. All right. Anyway.
But yeah, I look at Hendricks and I'm thinking, okay, he has got
who is he?
0-1 record.
What's his first name?
I don't know.
Me neither.
But he's 0-1. He's got a 4-point-something ERA. 0-1. How's this guy starting?
Not getting through the first inning.
And they don't even want him to. 8 times in the month of September, he opened the game as opposed to starting it. And pitched 1 inning in each of those games. Did it a couple times, I think at least once against the Yanks.
And I'll be honest, I can't name a starting pitcher for them. Can you? Cahill, I think, is one guy I might know.
Yeah.
Blake Trinan made the All-Star team as a closer. He's an excellent closer. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, I couldn't tell you who. I didn't. Of course, on the West Coast, you never see those teams play, so you don't really see them very often.
Can't stay up that late.
No, and, they come back east. You'll see them once in a while, but for the most part. I know they got a kid playing third base. Chapman's an excellent young player. Mm-hmm. They've got shortstop is Simeon. Jed Lowry plays second.
They do score a lot of runs.
They score a lot of runs.
I want to say the Yankees and the A's, I think, might have the 2 highest run totals.
Chris Davis has 48 home runs, plays left field. 48 home runs. He strikes out a lot, though.
Pretty scary that 48 home runs kind of goes on the East Coast.
Nobody knows who he is.
Under the radar. Yeah.
Everybody knows who he is.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, I don't even know who plays center or plays right. I probably should know that, but I think they're going to be overmatched. They're going to travel 3,000 miles in Yankee Stadium. Well, we'll see. But first off, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, but prior to that, a couple game 163s were pretty interesting, which was kind of, I guess, good for baseball. Those divisions of the playoff spots came down to the wire where they had game 163, which means the 2 teams play to get. It's a wild card playoff, and the winner goes into the wild card spot to play another division.
So it's like every once in a while back in every once in a while, maybe 5, 6, 10 years, whatever else.
Yep.
In a division, you used to have a playoff game. I remember as a kid racing home from school to watch Yankees Red Sox. Middle of the day.
Yep.
Bucky Dent.
So the Brewers had to play the Cubs, and the Brewers won 3-1. That was on Monday, and then last night the Cubs had to play the Rockies. The Rockies won 2-1. I guess 11, 12 innings. Whatever the heck that was.
Yeah. So here you have the Cubs who were in first place. I don't know.
Most part
with 10 games left or something like that. They lose 2 games. That's it.
Then they had the guy Addison Russell who. Had domestic violence charges pending on him, and he didn't even play. He was suspended, basically. But I think if they made the next round of playoffs, I think he was probably eligible to play because they're still investigating that. But he wasn't able to play his last 2 games.
So with this 1-game wild card, they can set a roster for that.
It's regular season stats. So.
But like postseason roster, you have to declare your roster, right?
Right.
Postseason, you can leave somebody off for the wild card game, and then you can put them on for.
The 163 is considered regular season. Extension of regular season, I believe so.
It is, okay.
Because it goes to regular stats and everything else. And then after that, now you become postseason, which is the wild card playing game.
Yeah, because some of that news is already starting to come out for the teams that aren't playing the wild card, or the 1-game playoff, not the wild card.
Right. So sometimes in baseball, I don't know my experience, that it's almost good to play like every day. you get in a rhythm. You don't sit still. I mean, it's not like how much can you have batting practice and infield practice and practice where you have that tension of game with the crowd and that frenzy and everything else. So I think playing these pressure games, like for instance that the Rockies have played, is kind of an advantage.
So we're filming a show on a Wednesday. The Yankees A's will play tonight. Joe's already declared the Yankees the winner. When will the Yankees play in Boston?
Friday.
On Friday.
In Boston.
So Boston will have 4 full days off.
Correct.
Which isn't, like you say, and I agree, is not a great thing.
I don't think it's that big advantage. Where it's like football.
I think back to was it 2008? I think the Mets Cardinals went 7. In the NLCS. And it was I think the Indians blew through. Had almost a week off, and everybody said, "Oh, what a huge advantage!" Well, the Cardinals went through them pretty easily because I think that you can get flat.
It's a matter of timing where you're swinging and things like that. You're off a inch, half inch, and you're swinging. It's a pop up as opposed to a line drive to center field. So I think that's huge as far as keeping your game.
And and I think some of that goes to pitchers as well. I remember Tommy Glavine and like the older guy, not the thrower, but the pitcher that's relying on a lot of movement and stuff like that, would say if Glavine, you say, if his arm was too rested, he was getting too much velocity on the pitch and it wouldn't move as much, and he wasn't fast enough. He wasn't blowing it by anybody. So he never wanted that extra day rest.
So then the other side, the Astros played the Indians, I think, tomorrow. That starts tomorrow. They're best of 5. That's going to be a heck of a series. You got Verlander against Corey Kluber, the first game of that game. Tomorrow night. Then nationally, you got the Dodgers playing the Braves, I believe.
Braves, and then Rockies.
Rockies and Brewers.
As of last night, getting in.
Brewers are kind of an interesting team. They came out of nowhere. I think they got the league MVP and Yelich had a heck of a year. He had 38 home runs, 120 RBIs, and 330, something like that. I mean, he was dealt for the Marlins, came into his own, peaked, and
a lot of great players came out of the Marlins. They're the modern day Pittsburgh Pirates.
The fire sale, man. They get rid of them all. Let's just go over some postseason awards from our point of view for the season awards that just completed. I think the MVP in National League, like you just said, is Yelich. I think he wins that. And for my money in the American League, I would go with J.D. Martinez. So a lot of people like Mookie Betts. As far as that, it's a tough one because sometimes teammates will split the votes. But for Betts had an amazing year and everything else, but Martinez with his 43 home runs, 130 RBIs at 330. I mean, he filled that David Ortiz role, and he also played the outfield sometimes. I think he was a missing piece to their team, kind of put them over the edge. But that's otherwise, I don't know who else would be the candidate between those two. Besides those two, I mean, there's nobody else really that. There's a lot of guys, but I mean, I think it's between those two. Then down to them. Cy Young, I think I got to go with your boy DeGrom in the National League. I mean,
they announced this is his last one. I think there was 6 or 7 games left in their season, which is already obviously over. And he once again, went 8 innings and got the win. So he got double-digit wins. He's got the winning record. He got his ERA, I believe, down to 1.70.
Amazing.
Which I think that's good enough to give him the Cy Young.
What are you, 10 and 9? I think 11 and 9 or
10 and 9.
Yeah. And the thing is with him is somebody said that he had 26 starts, 3 runs allowed.
His last 26 starts, he didn't allow more than 3 runs.
3 runs. Now, if the Mets would score more runs, he would have been 30-0.
I mean, clearly he pitched well enough to be a 20-game winner, which is still a rarity. I think it's not hitting 400, but you just don't see 20 wins very often anymore. And the ERA is impressive. The depth that he went to in almost every start was impressive. 7, 8 innings.
And a team like the Mets were 15 games under 500, something like that. I mean, it wasn't. Scherzer on the Nationals was not a good team either.
Mark my words. Mets played pretty good baseball in the second half of the season, so they don't need a fire sale. They don't need to go crazy. They need to pick up a bat or two and then decide what they're going to do with their pitching staff. But there's a lot of talent there.
Let's go over their position by position of the Mets because I am a little familiar with them. First base, looks like they're going to play Bruce there. They still have Dominic Smith, but they both hit lefty, and they've got this Peter Alfonso, who they'll bring up the second week of the season next year, so they have 5 years of control over him. He hits right-handed, so you got those first base. I think he's covered.
Yep.
Second base is Jeff McNeil. Looks fantastic.
McNeil's been great.
It's fantastic. It's like a better Danny Murphy to me. Good left-handed hitter. Doesn't strike out at all.
Yeah.
Defensively, he made some unbelievable plays.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he couldn't ask for anything.
God almighty.
Anything more, yeah.
Rosario kept getting better and better.
I'm really starting to get on the Rosario bandwagon. Yeah.
I mean, same thing with Didi first came over the Yankees. He wasn't anything great, but he got better and better, like Rosario is. And, he ended up
he's starting to steal some bases, starting to hit.
Yeah. Defensively pretty good.
Again, that's 260 after the first half of the season, and
right?
215 or
now
something.
Third base is
13 still a question mark.
I mean, I think they might have Frazier one more year. I think he has a 2-year contract. Yeah. So they got him, and it's not a bad thing because he's a great guy, great clubhouse guy, and he can give you some pop. Yeah. But they also have a guy named T.J. Rivera, who was out all last year with injury. He wasn't bad when he was up 2 years ago. And they got this other kid Evans. He got hurt this year, and they got those two guys can play third too.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad thing. They got any production on third. Then outfield, obviously, Cespedes though. I heard he just had a little operation on his other heel or something. So that the other one's right. Okay, now he has the other one. So how long the recovery is?
I mean, Cespedes, you just can't plan on him playing 150 games.
You just can't.
It's not going to happen.
Such a shame too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a force. I mean, he's one of the best players. When he's healthy and he's right, he's one of the best players in the game, I believe.
Yeah.
And defensively too, the guy can play defense. He can throw. He can track it down.
An arm, yeah.
It's amazing.
No question.
And then you got Nimmo and Conforto in the outfield, which, two pretty good outfielders.
It's not a bad lineup.
Not a bad lineup, no. And
then on top of that, they're in the NL East, which...
Yep. I think they really need a catcher, too. Their catch has been like average or below average for years and years and years.
Yeah, since...
Denard, I think, is just... I'm not a big fan of his. I think it's, Mesoraco has some pop once in a while, but he's inconsistent. Then you've got... who else was on there? Nito? Thomas Nito, I think, was a catcher. And Poecki. They got all those guys. So, and they're all like the same. They're all like 220 average players. Defensively,
and
okay.
I don't know if Darno is back to start the season anyway. He had Tommy John surgery in May.
Maybe they get a guy like Sandy Leon or Vasquez from Boston type thing.
Yeah, you think you can pick up somebody.
It's got to be somebody out there.
The advantage, I think, that they have is with their pitching staff, they know what they're doing. Yeah. You don't have to get Gary Carter or Johnny Bench type guy who can control the game. The pitchers know what they're doing.
They keep those guys back there. The starting pitch up where you got, obviously DeGrom, Syndergaard, Wheeler.
Syndergaard cut his hair today, by the way.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. How come?
He's filming an episode of a show called Vikings.
No, are you serious?
I don't think it's in Minnesota, but it's, I don't know.
I thought the Vikings have the long hair, though. Maybe that would be conducive to his...
Hey, I don't know.
Yeah, okay. We'll have to research that.
More to come in 2 weeks on that one.
And Wheeler's pitched well, and even was it Vasquez? No.
Nats?
No, the other guy. Vargas, what's his name?
Yeah, Vargas.
He was the other guy, and he pitched well toward the end.
Started slow, came on strong,
You got those 5 guys, Matz, Vargas, Syndergaard, DeGrom, and Wheeler. Yeah. 5 really good starters, or 3 really good and 2 decent. And then you've got...
As a 4 or 5 starter, I mean...
Better than most teams. Yeah.
Sure.
And then you got... Zellman and Lugo in the bullpen are solid. Yeah. They don't have a real closer, per se.
Yeah.
And they have maybe one more guy in the bullpen. And
but the good news is they didn't need a closer this year because they were never ahead.
Yeah, nothing to close. The door's always open. Nothing to close down. So
remember Diego Segui by any chance?
Yeah.
Going way back?
Yeah.
Open the door, Segui.
Yeah. I mean, they're not that far away. So, no. I mean, and I never heard Mickey Callaway on the show the other day. He was like... well, whatever the Mets want to do, it's fine with me. If they want to go out without me, that's fine. If they want me, that's fine. I'm all about the Mets and what's best for the team. And he goes, I think I'll be back, but if they don't, then...
I think he'll be back.
He'll be back.
Yes. What I am hearing, though, is who might not be back is Madden with the Cubs.
Really?
Now, here's the Chicago Cubs. I mean, forget winning a World Series.
Yeah.
It's been, over the course of 100 years, I think they got to the World Series twice. Right? I mean, just something ridiculous. 4 straight years they go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I mean, this year it was a bit of a collapse, but wow!
I'm not a big fan of the games. Some of the games I watch.
I agree.
I question some of the strategy he does. He kind of like off the wall, off the hook. It's like sometimes it's not good.
Was it 2-3 years ago now? 3 years ago when they won the World Series?
Yeah, 2 years. I mean, 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah,
they won the World Series despite Madden just abusing the bullpen.
That's true.
Abusing the bullpen.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. They almost blew it because of him.
Yeah. So there's talk. Theo Epstein is the former Boston guy. He's in Chicago now. What I'm hearing is that they don't see eye to eye.
Right.
So he's got one more year. So what they might do is, I think, what it sounds like is they're going to let him know, hey, we're not going to extend that.
Right.
Then Madden will go to Epstein or the Cubs as an organization, say, hey, let me talk to other teams. And the, I don't know what they are now, the Angels, the Anaheim Angels, California Angels, whatever. Because he's buddies with the general manager there. He had been bench coach for Mike Sosha, who's retiring after, I don't know, 18, 19, 20 years.
Right.
So I think Madden might be out of Chicago and resurface.
Now the Mets GM is interesting too. They said they're going to interview 10 to 12 guys. Who the heck they are? Who knows? I know Ron Darling expressed a little interest. That he might want to do that.
Ron Darling,
kind of neat. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing though. I mean,
I take Ron Darling over Keith Hernandez any day.
I think with Darling, Darling would do a great job with it, but. Does he want to get out of that booth where he's comfortable, does a great job for TBS and the Mets, and then go to somewhere else where maybe he does well, maybe he doesn't? Is he interested in building a team? And so I think that's his biggest thing, if they even want him. So, I mean, that's a tough call. And then why would you want to do that? I guess you'd be kind of staying home, or you'd be more like, in New York all the time. I don't know, maybe. I guess it comes where the guy enjoys that type of thing, the X's and O's and things.
For me, I mean, that's he's never done that.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a great pitcher. I loved watching Darling, and he, like you say, he does a great job in the booth.
Right.
Does that give him the qualifications to be a great general manager? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of.
Well, then
I'm sure there's a lot of minutia.
It's a good debate because guys that are like good stat men maybe not be good general managers, and good guys are good guys. I mean, I think he's smart enough to maybe surround himself with people that know the analytics and things like that. He might be. And he's such a good guy that he might be able to. I think it's okay. It's like being a CEO, and just getting the right.
Yeah.
You got your Latin American scouts, you got your Dominican, you got all these different facets that you've got to coordinate it, and how to sign guys and who wants to come play for you and things like that.
And then what can you do and what can't do? If he's in the booth and he wants to talk to Keith Hernandez about some game that they played together in '86, that's fine. Your general manager, hey, I want to sign this guy, and you go to the Wilpons and like, it's not happening.
And you got Ricky O and Minaya are in the picture now. What do you do with them? Do they want the job? If they don't get the job, are they going to be they're part of the team? I mean, so it's always a tough call. And then as a general manager, you bring in your own manager or stay with what you got. Yeah. So they might want to ask them, if you were general manager, what would you do with Callaway?
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. If it was, and I'll go on record and saying I don't think it's going to be Darling, but that's the rare case where he doesn't have a history. He doesn't have his guys.
Right.
Whereas these other general managers who move around or assistant GMs here or there, they've got, got their Fab Five in their phone, and hey, when I get my job, we'll let this contract run out. We'll move you in here, and we'll bring in this guy. Whereas Darling's just kind of on his own. So I think Callaway should absolutely get another year.
Why not?
I think he did.
He can't.
For what he had and the way they performed in the first half of the season, he held that team together.
He was always positive. He was always trying to be upbeat on things. I mean,
he never lost a team.
Yeah, it was like a broken record. Same old mistakes. I mean, what are you going to say? I mean, this guy's got to go right after the game is over. You got to go in front of the press and listen to some really stupid questions. To be honest with you, and then you're sitting there going,
the same question,
same old thing all the time. You're like, what do you want to throw your guys under the bus, even though you might be correct in doing so.
Sure, yeah.
You can't do that. Then you lose the team. What'd you say? So I mean, it's that's why you might guys like Parcells, these guys are going there and just say, you know what, screw you, and then they would, or like Belichick.
So I was going to say, you must be a fan of Belichick's
on a Cincinnati. No, not really, but I mean, that's his approach, and he never wavered, and
with it,
it works for him. But he's able to get away with that because he wins all the time.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a big difference. Anyway, and to finish up our awards, the Cy Young Award in America League probably would go to Snell, Tampa Bay. I mean, he's 21-5, had a great year, and Rookie of the Year, I would say maybe Acuna from the Braves, and I think Andujar on my Yankees wins it for the American League. But those things are, what's interesting about the.
Now, when will that happen? That'll happen.
Yeah, kind of like
during the World Series.
I think it's kind of after. That's a good question. I'm not sure exactly when the voting is. I would think it'd be after all the season's done. After the season's done, but I don't know.
Something in me says that they do it before that because they don't want to get skewed because it's supposed to be a regular season award, so they don't want to get skewed at the
You know, the Cy Young winner,
Right.
it's not supposed to include postseason.
Right.
So, you know, hey, the guy
Well, I think votes are probably in by now, I would guess.
the guy went 4 and 5 and say he went 5-0 in the playoffs.
Right, I think the votes are in now, and then
they've already voted. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the way it works.
They're voting this week, maybe,
Right.
something like that.
You know what's interesting about the postseason baseball is too is the rosters. You get 25 guys. I'm not sure if it goes game to game or series to series, or you can move people. If someone's injured or they can't play, I think you can replace them with other guys.
99% sure you set your roster for the series.
For series.
Not day to day.
But if there's something like somebody gets hurt, I don't know if you can replace them.
I don't know. I don't think
bad.
so.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
But I mean, Yankees. I know it was something interesting with the Yankees. I read yesterday that they're keeping three catchers today. I don't know if that means a series. I would doubt it. They got Kyle Higioshi, and they've got Austin Romine, and they've got Sanchez. I think their strategy is to start Sanchez. They get a lead. They bring in Romine.
Okay.
You know, defensively, and then if they have to pitch run for him, they bring somebody else, and they got Kyle just in case they they got to go three. But that's unusual to have three catchers at this point in time. But that was interesting. I don't know if Greg Bird made the roster. I didn't do enough research on that. But if I was them, I wouldn't put him on the roster. You got Voit and Walker Petuni at first base, and they've been dynamite, especially Voit. So 12 home runs, 13 home runs. Did you see the tape on Voit working out?
No.
The guy's built like a linebacker. He bench presses 135 pounds one-handed.
Come on.
I've never seen that before. They showed him. He's got the bar, the normal bench press, right in the middle. He goes up, down, puts it back up, up to 135 pounds.
Why does he just put 270 on there and do his two hands?
Good question. Good question. Maybe he's not in a hurry. I don't know. Maybe he wants to make a YouTube video. Yeah. So that was interesting. But yeah. He's. I like the way he plays, enthusiasm and his smile and joy for the game.
Yeah.
I think it's something that the Yankees need a little bit more of.
Yeah.
Because there's sometimes you're too professional.
Too professional.
Better than the other way. But anyway, so big game tonight. Hopefully the Yankees come on top.
Well, hopefully.
20
minutes ago, you were saying it was a guarantee.
Well, they're going to win, but anything can happen, obviously. But I mean, I'm the kind of fan that if the Yankees lose, I'd watch it, but I wouldn't watch it. You know what I mean? I really wouldn't care. I wouldn't go on my way to watch a game.
I'll keep watching baseball until it's over. If the Jets are on, I'll watch the Jets. But I'll watch baseball.
I know. Well, my life around it, like Houston, Cleveland, or something.
Yeah.
When the Yankees are on, I'll watch them every night.
Yeah.
But that should be fun. And I think America wants to see the Yankees, Red Sox. Obviously, everyone wants to see that. That would be
clearly,
awesome.
the networks do.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we've been waiting for all year long.
And on the last show, you started putting some holes in the Red Sox ability to get through the playoffs.
Yeah, matter of fact, let's do a little position by comparison each.
Okay.
So we think we're going to jump ahead, assuming the Yankees win tonight.
Okay.
All right.
Assuming.
Call it. And we're going to
guaranteeing it.
Compare the Red Sox, Yankees, position by position. All right, now you got left field. We'll go right around the field. Left field, you got either Gardner or McCutcheon, okay, versus Benintendi. I probably would give the advantage to Benintendi, that situation, as far as, center field, you got Hicks against JPP. I'd give it to Hicks because defensively he's a notch below JPP. JPP is probably one of the best defense, if not the best defensive center fielder in the league, but doesn't hit as well as Hicks or run the base as well.
Yep.
And then right field, you've got Betts versus Judge. Pick your poison there. I think that's a wash.
Yeah.
Judge got more power. Well, they both got the same amount of power. I don't know. So that's a wash. On the infield, you got third base. You got Nunez and Devers.
Toss up.
Versus Andujar. I'd take Andujar.
Yeah.
Ben 300. Shortstop, we got Didi and Bogarts. That's another toss-up.
Yeah.
Bogarts had 22 home runs, 100 RBIs. Didi was, I think, 26 and 80 or something, and he was hurt for a while, though. So that's a toss-up. And second base, you got Brock Holt or Kinsler against Torres. I'd say another wash, maybe a little bit advantage the Yankees with that. Mm-hmm. And then first base, you got Moreland against Voit and Walker as a platoon over there. Voit from the right side, Walker from the left side. I would give advantage to the Yankees in that one. And then catcher, you got Vasquez and Leon, Blake Swihart versus Sanchez and Romine. It's probably a wash there too because none of the catchers actually hit for high average. But Sanchez got a little more power. Defensively, the Red Sox catcher is definitely better than Sanchez, and Sanchez is very weak defensively.
Yeah.
And he led the league in pass balls, and he missed like 50 games for crying out loud. So, and that starting pitching, I mean, I think the Red Sox have a big concern about Sale. Last 2 outings, he averaged like 91, 92 max on his fastball.
Yeah.
Which used to be 97, 98.
Dead arm thing, yeah.
Now, is he holding back? I talked to a guy the other day. He says, how do you hold back? You can't hold back, really. So,
no.
I don't
did he get some rest? I mean, did they skip his last start?
They only had 4 innings. They only pitched 4 innings last game, just as a tune-up. But he only maxed out at 91.
Okay, so if it was that he was, he was getting dead arm or something like that, that might bounce back.
Yeah,
but I mean, that's something you're going to find out in the first inning.
Yeah, but you got to count on him, and then their second starter would be Price, and the Yankees have battered him throughout his whole career. They never had a problem with Price, so that bodes well for the Yankees. And the third starter would be Purcell, who's pitched well against the Yankees, and then the fourth one maybe Rodriguez for the Red Sox. If they go 4 starters, if they go back with Sale on Game 4. I don't know. It probably depends on the series. If it's 2-1, or they might go with Rodriguez. I don't know. And save Sale for Game 5. So that's interesting. Then the other side of the Yankees, they have Severino starting tonight. I think they'll start Happ on Friday if they win. And Game 2 would be Tanaka, and Game 3 could be Severino or Lynn or CC, depending on I think the series. If you're down 0-2, then they might have to go with Severino again if he pitches well tonight. So I think that the starting pitch is kind of like
that'd be Severino on 3.
Yeah, right. So I think that's kind
of which is pretty common.
Yeah. Then the bullpen, you've got to give the advantage to the Yankees. No doubt in my mind. I mean, Kimbrel is a tremendous closer. I mean, he's got the advantage there. But up to that point, you got Chad Green, Robertson, and Chapman and Zach Britton. I mean, are much better than anybody in the Yankees.
What was the season tally for the head-to-head Yankees?
I think they were either even or 10-9. I think they were. But the Yankees won 2 out of 3 last time.
Right down the middle.
I think they were right down the middle. I think. Even stat-wise, they were pretty much even. The Yankees had a little more home runs, but I think they were basically split. And I think each team won a little bit more at home. So that's gonna be a war. That should be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
What happens in those games too is that you get a pitcher comes in and he's dealing, and if the Yankees don't hit with power, which they go to tank power. I mean, at one time, I think it was last week, they had every guy in their starting lineup had over 20 home runs, which is each right from the top. You had Hicks at over 20.
Is this like steroid era part 2? What's going on?
That's like unheard of. I don't know if it's ever happened before. Where you have Hicks had 20. Van Second was Judge, had 26. You had Stanton third, Didi fourth. Fifth was Andujar. Those guys all had over 20 home runs, and then I forget who else they had, but they had. I know they had like 12 guys. I think had 10 or more home runs for the whole year, which is unheard of too. They led the major leagues in home runs.
Yeah.
So sometimes that bodes well in the playoffs. Sometimes I don't know. Yeah. So.
Bird, by the way, is off the roster.
He's off the roster. Is he? Okay, yeah. I figured that.
Yeah.
Voigt basically played himself off the roster and played Bird off the roster.
Yeah.
And Bird didn't. I have to get like 2 or 3 at bats in the last 3 weeks, just not a factor. So that guy's got to say to himself, you know what? What the heck's going on? I'm either gonna.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. Change my swing or. What do? You work out? I don't know. You're bigger, stronger. I mean, you're 25 years old. So that's an interesting situation. They thought he'd be the number 3 hitter in the hole for 10 years and this and that. And he just fell off the map. He just really did.
All right, unless you have anything else about baseball, we're going to move on. We've got some other stuff. The last point I want to make is in a surprise move, Buck Showalter of the Baltimore Orioles will not be returning.
Wow, is all the wishing, or
I don't know. You lose 110 games, they don't have you back.
They don't have you back. Yeah,
crazy. But I know, you've been talking about baseball.
Well, they should extend Chris Davis a couple more years at what, $20 million a year. The guy bats 161. That's a great deal. That was.
Yeah, but he's the most valuable player they got. I didn't pay him more. I know you've been waiting all show for this. It's time to talk golf.
Let's do it.
You've been
chomping at the bit,
and you're actually going to enjoy this. This gets pretty high.
I can't wait.
But before we get into the worldwide thing, I did want to talk about the University of Hartford Hawks women's golf program.
Who you are assistant coach of, by the way.
I am the assistant coach of, by the way. Won an event this past week, which is very exciting. We played As of the taping of the show, we played 3 tournaments. We had a great tournament up at Dartmouth.
Okay.
Didn't play quite our best.
How many teams
Boston
playing these
College.
individual tournaments? 10?
We had 6 at the one this past week, which we hosted over in Bloomfield, Wittenberry Hills. Our girls shot combined 302, 300, so 602 for the 36 holes.
Okay.
And we won.
How many golfers is that? Five individual golfers?
We play 5 golfers.
Okay.
And whatever the high score is for the day, that team drops.
Say it again.
So, like we had on Sunday, we had a girl shoot 69, we had a girl shoot 75, 77, 77, and then somebody shoots 79.
Okay.
Well, if the 79 is that's the highest score, we drop that one. So you take the 4 low scores of the 5.
Okay.
So you're really happy for the.
And you add that up, combine the number.
Yeah. So it added up on Sunday. It added up to 300.
Okay.
And we had a lead going into the second round. It was only 36.
Do they know this score as the tournament's going on?
Pretty much, because the way it works is in most of the stroke play events, they play in threesomes.
Okay.
So the second day or the third day, they say they would take. In this case, it was us and 2 other schools, us, Hofstra, and Siena College. Those were the 3. They were in first, second, and third place.
Okay.
So they're playing together. So
playing together meaning there's one.
They're in a group.
Okay.
So the number 5 girl from each college is playing in a group, so they know exactly that.
Playing threesomes, 3 people?
Yeah, they play threesomes. Okay. So she made bogey, I made birdie, blah, 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 blah. So, they all kind of knew where
So you basically want to try to beat your other 2 or other 1, whatever. Okay.
Yeah, in some cases, in this case, we had a pretty big lead over one team and a huge lead over the next one, so it worked out pretty good. So, it was pretty exciting.
Now, where are you during tournament as a coach? Are you walking around in a certain spot?
Walking around. The college coach nowadays, they do everything except carry the bag.
Okay.
Now, I can't be on 5 greens at once.
Right.
So there's certain times where, I'll be kind of bouncing between 3 groups here and the other. The head coach.
Are you allowed to coach them up during play?
Walk right out on the green, read putts.
Okay.
Stand on par 3.
You can read putts for them?
Oh yeah. Stand on a par 3 and say, well, it's X number of yards, but this girl, we played it as 140 yards.
Coaching can be a pretty big factor in that situation.
I like to think so.
I mean, because
I like to think it's a big factor when they play well.
When
they don't play well, I don't.
Because you got to know the strengths of your players and who can do what.
And golf's a very cerebral game. So some players, you got to treat every player a little different.
Absolutely.
To get the most out of them. So, but like I say, I'm proud of the women. They work hard and
good for you.
They're starting to get some benefits. But the big stuff, worldwide golf.
Okay.
The Ryder Cup.
Okay.
Ryder Cup, every 2 years they play the Ryder Cup.
When does it start?
It's the United States. When does it start? Did you hear that? When does it start? Joe.
Oh, it started already.
So it's the United States versus Europe.
Okay. When did it start, though?
It ended last week.
When did it finish?
It finished on Sunday. It finished on Sunday. Okay. So every 2 years they play it and they bounce back and forth. So 2 years ago it was here in the U.S.
Okay.
This year they played it right outside of Paris.
Okay.
A lot of the pundits and saying, the U.S. has such a strong team. No chance that Europe's going to win this year. Although Europe has won now 6 straight Ryder Cups played in Europe, which happens every 4 years. So you could say, well, it's been 25 years,
home court advantage
since the U.S. has won in Europe. Okay. But this was a drubbing. Europe just destroyed them. And the on the bright side, the good news, the fun to watch, fun to follow. European team, they all played really well. There was one of my favorite players, Tommy Fleetwood, is a fairly young English guy. Got paired with Francesco Molinari, who had won the Open Championship, the first Italian to do so. Won a big tournament over here, so he's been playing well. They got paired together. So for the first 2 days, it's 2-person teams in a couple different formats. So Fleetwood and Molinari, they're good friends. They're flamboyant. They played great. They beat Tiger Woods and his partner twice, Patrick Reed, which we'll talk about in a second. So it started this whole thing. They were calling them Mollywood. Okay. Fleetwood and Molinari.
Okay.
Great stuff. Lots of fun. So they had a 10-6 lead. They had won 10 matches. U.S. had won 6. Well, 4-point lead in the Ryder Cup's pretty big going into the last day. The last day they're going to play the singles matches. So there's 12 single matches go out. So 14.5 points, and it's all over. There's only 28 points at stake. So you think, well, there's 12 matches going, and if Europe wins 4 and ties 1, it's over. So the odds are not really in the U.S.'s favor, and it sure proved that way. Couple people as it was going on, like, oh, there's a chance for the U.S., but there really wasn't because, they were up in some matches. Some of the later matches, the Europeans had kind of commanding leads, so it ended pretty early. Ended up 17.5 to 10.5, which is, if you looked at all the results of the Ryder Cups, that's one of the bigger drubbings or whatever else. But then the drama started. Then it got interesting. So they have their press conferences afterwards. So the losing team always goes first, and then it's a little somber and this and that. But they're all talking about Jim Furyk and what a good job he did as a captain, and they appreciate it and everything else. And it all looked nice on TV. Can't get around the fact though that Furyk had 4 captain's picks. He picked Tony Finau was his last pick, and Tony played pretty well during the event. His first 3 captain's picks were Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods, and Bryson DeChambeau. Now, you can't really fault him for picking Tiger Woods and Bryson DeChambeau. Woods won the week before. DeChambeau had won 2 tournaments in like the 3 weeks prior to. Mickelson was a stretch.
Has been down, right?
It was a stretch. So those 3 guys didn't score a point. They didn't win a match. They didn't tie a match in the Ryder Cup, which, it's kind of tough.
Classic.
Now, the previous 2 Ryder Cups, and I think you throw a President's Cup in there too, Patrick Reed, who's like the bad boy of American golf, and Jordan Spieth had played together, and they're awesome. They're, 8-1-2 or something. 8 victories, 1 loss, and 2 ties or something like that. They don't get paired together this week at all. He puts Reed out with Tiger Woods a couple times. They get beat by Mollywood. And after the press conference, the next day or whatever, New York Post comes out with an article, an interview with Patrick Reed, just hammering everybody.
Really?
Oh, yeah, saying that Furyk, he blindsided him, he didn't know this was going to happen. Clearly, it's Jordan Spieth didn't want to play with me. It's like 3rd grade kindergarten, like playground stuff. Like, why didn't you pick me for the kickball?
He's supposed to be a bad attitude guy, right?
Yeah, he's
head case.
Like after the Masters we talked about a little bit. So he's out there a so that's going on now.
He's one of the most disliked players on the tour, right?
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of friends.
Right.
Doesn't have a lot of friends.
So it's not hard to figure that would happen.
And then an unnamed American player came out and just called it a pile of what.
2 guys just took it out, right?
We'll get to that in a second. So it's going back and forth, and over the last 12 Ryder Cups, so that's over a course of 24 years, 25 years because 9/11. Europe's won 8, and this is an event where the Europeans,
are they just better golfers, home field advantage? I mean,
They've won 8 out of 12, so they've won on American soil a few times too. They're better. It just seems to me they're better team players. Okay. They play better under pressure. Some people would say that they put more importance on the Ryder Cup than the Americans do. Okay. You could say the Americans, the American team as a whole, if you added up their wealth, it's probably worth a lot more than the Ryder Cup, than the European Ryder Cup team. Okay. So maybe it means more to the Europeans, but they just seem to play better. They seem to make more putts. Right. Another fallout afterwards. Supposedly Sunday night, it ended on Sunday, and at every Ryder Cup they have team rooms. So you have the American team room and the European team room, and the captains they'll decorate it, different things, inspirational messages, posters, this, that, and the other thing. Sunday night, it's kind of tradition that the losing team goes to visit the winning team, because at the end, when it's all over, they're still pals,
still friends,
and because they're going to play. Some of them are playing against each other this week or whatever else. Right. So they go in there. Well, so the report was that Dustin Johnson, who had been paired with Brooks Koepka, they're very close friends. They work out together. They hang out together. Had to get separated. They were almost getting ready to throw some haymakers. Why? Now, nobody knows. Huh. Koepka comes out today, and he's getting ready to play at an event in Europe, and says, I don't know what we're talking about. That never happened. Okay. Well, I mean, these stories don't come from nowhere.
Right.
And a bit of sad news talking about Brooks Koepka during the Ryder Cup. And I know you don't watch TV, but for you folks at home who've watched golf on TV, look at that face. The crowd's pretty close. Now these are very skilled golfers, and this kind of stuff doesn't happen very often. A few times a week, you'll see the ball go into a crowd of people, down at the end. This poor woman was 50, 60 yards off the tee. Brooks Koepka, who could play linebacker in the NFL,
big guy,
hits it offline. Hits this woman in the face, and she's lost vision in an eye.
Oh my goodness!
Obviously, terrible event in that woman's life, in that woman's family's life. Oh.
It's kind of rare, isn't it? I mean,
very often. Like I say, down the fairway,
People can get hit, and it's going to hurt.
If you pay attention.
If you get hit in the exact wrong spot, something could happen. But for the most part, but this, I mean, the golf balls are coming off the golf club at 180, 85 miles an hour. 50 yards down the fairway, it's still going 182,
people on their phones
miles
too,
an hour.
not paying attention.
Possibly. But like I say, a terrible event, certainly for that woman and her family.
Just a bit.
But also a terrible thing for Brooks Koepka. Yeah. Obviously, he didn't hit the ball the way he wanted, but geez, what a terrible thing to live with. So,
awesome.
So prayers go out to both.
Okay, nice.
And that's the end of the golf segment because Joe's getting itchy.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk about golf anymore.
Yeah,
no more golf.
We got to do some football, man.
Okay, football.
All right, Giants, Jets.
Stink.
Trouble. What are they both 1-3?
Yeah. The Jets started off with such promise.
Yeah, I mean, they had a big game against the Lions, and now they're back to being Jets, I guess.
Same old Jets.
Same old thing.
Same old Jets.
It kind of.
It was actually a friend of mine called me Sunday night from Florida, and he said it was a sitcom. Yeah. Playing the Jags.
And then you got
the Jags are a good team.
You got Jamal Adams mouthing off after the game. Oh, we're better than this. Just it's your second year league. Just be quiet.
Yeah.
Try to get better. Okay.
Yeah.
Giants look like the same old thing. They're just an average team. They're playing a.
No, I haven't seen much Giants. Are they protecting?
Didn't see the Saints game, but they were in there for a while, and then they just kind of folded and gave some big plays. And one thing came out was Odell was used mostly as a decoy, which I don't get. He had 6 or 7 catches for 60 yards for nothing.
Yeah.
And that's where they feel with him. Barkley had a couple of decent plays, but it's just kind of the same old thing. Just kind of an average team. Jets are an average team. Yeah. Pats are coming out, I think.
Boy, did they destroy the Dolphins.
They took the Dolphins behind the shed.
See, because I was getting excited. Because I had it all drawn out. The Jets destroyed the Lions week 1.
Yeah.
The Lions beat the Patriots ipso facto.
Too bad it doesn't work that way.
Gets to the better team.
Too bad it doesn't work that way.
Can we play the Lions again, by the way?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know that we want to, actually.
Well, Pats now are 2-2, and they've got Edelman back this week, and they've got Josh Gordon around into shape. It'll be a second game.
The Fish are still 3-1, but they showed who they are on Sunday. That was
they're okay.
That was a beatdown.
Yeah. A couple of the games was weird. Since our last show, the Bills beat the Vikings straight up, and then the Bills get destroyed by the Packers the next week. So the NFL is you never can tell week to week. Le'Veon Bell's thing is he's still holding out. He's kind of probably loving the fact that what are they 1-2-1 or whatever the Steelers are.
Yeah,
and they look pedestrian on offense. I don't know. But then you got someone like Earl Thomas of the Seahawks. You see that? He broke his leg.
Yeah. And
he's giving the Seattle bench the finger on the way out. That's a classy guy. He's like this. I mean, so he's done. I mean, he was trying to. That was his walk year. So now he's damaged goods. Yeah. So that's an interesting situation there. The Rams still look like the best team in football to me.
Yep.
Offense, defense, special teams, they got everything. Again, obviously, it's a long season. It's a quarter way through.
Sure.
A long way to go. A lot of things, a lot of injuries could happen. The Ravens actually look pretty good. They beat up on the Steelers on Monday night.
Yep.
I mean, on Sunday night. And then Kansas City pulled that game out against Denver. Did you see Mahomes? That throw he made left-handed?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I think
it's going to his left.
The question is, what
grabbed
can't the guy do?
Yeah, he pushed a left-hander for a first down. I mean,
I'd say that was officially his coming out party.
Yeah, I mean,
he's the real deal.
Yeah, he's got a lot of weapons too. And I tell you what, sleeper team nobody really talks about is the Bears. Bears put up 48. I mean, Khalil Mack put them in the next level defensively. They were already good. They were a top 10 defense before he got there, and he's a force on defense, obviously.
Yeah.
College football is interesting. Going through some this 4-game transfer rule. Did you see that thing?
No. Tell me that.
You can play 4 games. After the 4th game, you got to declare whether you want to stay or not and transfer. And I guess
Is it any year, or is it as a freshman?
It's a new thing. No, anybody.
Really?
Yeah, if you have eligibility left. So Kelly Bryant and Clemson decided to take advantage of that, and he decided to sit out the 5th game or 4th game, and so they had Trevor Lawrence, a freshman quarterback for them, and he got hurt in the Syracuse game. got concussion, and they brought in some other freshman, and he pulled it out from them. They beat Syracuse by 4. But it's, and Jalen Hurts, on the other hand, for the Alabama Crimson Tide, stayed his 5th game, so now he can't transfer. Sitting out a year. So he decided to stay. The tough part about that is, as a coach, you're like, okay, you want to go somewhere else and play, that's fine, because you're not starting anymore at my program. But if my starter that replaced you gets hurt now, are really really in trouble.
Yeah.
So that's what happened to Clemson. And the guy got concussed, so he's probably okay. He'll be back. But that was a perfect example. Now, they made a change at quarterback. They put Wimbush. They took him out. And they put this Joe Book in there, and this guy's been lighting it up. So they won a couple of big games.
Who they beat up? Was it Washington or somebody this weekend?
Yeah, they beat somebody pretty good last weekend, and. See Jimbo Fisher of the Texas A&M grabbed the guy with the face mask. Stanford they beat, yeah. Now Stanford had a game the week before against Oregon, and they were getting handled by Oregon pretty good. It was 31-7 actually, and Stanford kept plugging away and came back. It was 31-28 with a minute to go, and Oregon had the ball and run the clock out. Stanford's got no timeout left, and I think it's first down about midfield. They run the ball to a running back, he fumbles it. Stanford comes down, kicks a game-time field goal. They got a go-ahead touchdown in overtime. And they end up winning 38-31.
Yeah.
So all I do is take three knees for Oregon. That's a tough thing on a coach.
Yeah.
So Ohio State, Penn State was an interesting game. That was a battle. Ohio State pulled that out. 100,000 people there.
With 8 minutes to go or something. Ohio State's dead and buried.
Yeah. And Penn State had a big 4th down, 4th and 3.
Yeah.
And they decided to hand off and said Trace McSorley run the ball, which has been running good all day, and they got buried. So,
Penn State, I think, is a good team, obviously. But I think a little overrated coming into the season. Yeah. They lost a lot of defensive players to the draft, to graduation and stuff like that, which is tough to overcome.
Yeah. So that was a decent game. Now they got the same old characters. You got Alabama in first place in the poll.
Yep.
There's Ohio State, Clemson 2-3, 3-2, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
The 14 would be Notre Dame's outside looking in. You've got a few other teams that are playing well. So
I think Ohio State pulling that one out. They get in more into
save their season.
The big picture. Notre Dame as well. Yeah.
Yeah, they get beat. It's a tough call. But that's another. Strange thing. Alabama doesn't have a tough game until they get by LSU at some point. Game 7 or 8, they don't have nothing.
Yeah.
And Georgia's still playing very well.
Yeah.
So it's the same old thing. These college teams. Nebraska's have a tough start. They're 0-4, I think, under Scott Frost, and they're in trouble over there. But
you were talking about when you were talking about. The 4-game rule getting concussed. Just jumping back to the NFL. Now I got to give Joe credit. It pains me to do this, but in our last show, Joe said, not quite with the certainty of the Yankees winning the game tonight, but said that the Browns were going to beat the Jets.
Baker Mayfield.
And son of a gun had
they did.
Tyrod Taylor got concussed with, I don't know, a minute 32 or something left to go in the first half.
Yeah.
The Browns are just flat. They're not doing anything. The Jets look great. We're up 21 to nothing, I think. Yeah. 21-3.
Mayfield came in and you just feel the energy everywhere. It was
you
like
could feel it from here, which is amazing because they were playing in Cleveland.
It was something else.
But he comes out in the second half, and he's the real deal. He threw 2 interceptions in the next game against the Raiders, but he's thrown. He's really kind of electric, and he moved the team, and the team got excited, and the city of Cleveland got excited.
Got that it factor. They got the one game out of they got their win, so
they got a tie, they got a win. Yeah. What else do they need?
They're not that far away. I mean, you got some good weapons, and Mayfield is he's just a special guy, special player.
Yeah. So now his numbers aren't spectacular right yet. Which, hey, that's okay.
He was 21 for 43, I think, against the Raiders, something like that. So
21 to 41 for under 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 2 sacks.
I think Carr was outstanding that game. Wasn't he like 28 for 32 or something?
Yeah. And he also lost 2 fumbles too.
Yeah, huge. You can't turn the ball over yet.
But I think that might have been Oakland's first win. I think
it was.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, they were on 3 paced on 4.
They play the Bolts this week.
Okay.
The former San Diego Chargers, now the Los Angeles Chargers, which back in the day that used to be a big game.
Right.
Now
New England.
They both stink.
New England plays the Colts. Colts are funny. Colts. I think was it overtime. They had the ball 4th and 4 from their own 45-yard line. They went for it and lost to an incomplete pass, and then the other team came down and kicked the field goal and beat them.
Yeah.
And afterwards, to a man, the coach said, we do the same thing again. We play to win, da-da-da. I don't know. That was a tough call.
Well, you got to say we do the same thing again. Otherwise, you're throwing the coach on the bus.
Yeah, you can't, yeah. But we play to win, so... Andrew Luck is funny. He's good, but he's such a... I don't mean to be a white. He's like a nerd. He's such a big nerd, though.
A big nerd?
He's just like, golly gee. It's just incredible. But he's like that. He's from Stanford, and he's a brilliant mind. But he's just funny. He's like a big... I don't know. Yeah. Not that it's a bad thing, but he's just funny.
Those quarterbacks from those big schools, Stanford, and we got...
they actually go to class, so that's amazing.
They go to class.
They get a degree.
What's his name now with the beard?
Fitzpatrick. He's on a bench where he belongs.
Yeah, he's gone now, but he was an Ivy Leaguer, right?
Yeah, he's Harvard. He's from Harvard, yeah. Yeah, and Jets play Broncos at home this week.
Yeah.
Tough game.
Nobody cares.
Giants, who the Giants got? Giants got... Giants are playing the Panthers. Oh, God. down there. So they're going to be looking at 1-4.
Looking pretty optimistic on that one.
Yeah. They get buried down there.
Yeah. The beauty of being a Jets fan is, my commitment level's pretty small.
Realistic, realistic.
Up until Columbus Day, there's a chance it could happen, this and that. But
they got their franchise quarterback, but beyond that,
and give them 2-3 years, let them build a team around them.
Yeah.
What concerns me about the Giants is where's their future?
Yeah.
It's not an Eli Manning.
No,
so at what point do you say, look, it's time to move on?
And the offensive line guys there's still issues there, and defensively they're okay. But I'm a firm believer that defensively, if your offense controls it, some of these games you get 45 plays as opposed to like 90 plays. So if your defense is on the field double the time, I mean, not like anything else, you got to be shot and exhausted. So you got to keep your defense off the field and help them out a little bit.
Yeah.
These if you take 5-10 minutes off the clock and don't score, as opposed to going 3 and out 5 times.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys defense like, come on, boys, let's let's help us out. So I mean, that's always a consideration from my point of view defensively.
Yeah, move the chains a couple times. Don't turn it over. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Help us out a little bit. NBA started preseason, so that's on its way.
Preseason NBA.
Yeah, they only play like 6 games though, so it's not bad.
Well, because they play 247 in the regular season.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So LeBron is working with his LA boys out there. So
I saw something. He didn't fly with the team or something.
I don't know. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it was something. I don't know if it was in if it was preseason game, exhibition game, or they were going, and he didn't decide to get on the same aircraft.
Okay.
Which
probably had some movies that's produced or something.
Yeah, maybe a Pepsi commercial. Or
some Sprite commercial.
Yeah. That's not an endorsement for either of those.
So the NBA starts pretty soon.
NBA starts. NHL starts.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not real hockey guys, you can tell.
No.
Ever
since the whale left.
I never really watched any hockey, unfortunately.
Although I do have to say, going to some Wolfpack games, it's great fun.
It is, yeah.
It's great. I'm not an NHL fan. I'm not gonna, I'll watch it. If there's nothing on, I'll watch a game. It's still fun to watch. Yeah. But go down to Hartford, go to the XL Center and watch a Wolfpack game. It's good hockey. It's cheap.
Way back in the day, I went to college in Philadelphia. I went to a couple of Flyers games. My impression from that millions of years ago is that how fast the puck travels, how good those guys are.
Oh, geez, yeah.
It's like, oh my God, it's like hyper. I suppose on TV it doesn't look quite like it is in person. That was the main impression I got of that. It was freaking incredible. But a couple of big college games this week. You got Alabama. Who does Alabama play? They play somebody. Probably have another cupcake coming up. Oh, they play Arkansas. They're 34-point favorites. In Arkansas.
Recreational purposes.
Yeah, I mean, they're just like Georgia plays Vanderbilt. That's another 26-point.
Yeah.
I mean, Mississippi State, Auburn, that's not a bad one.
Yeah, who's Ohio State got? Are they
Ohio State's San Jose State. Oh, no, that's wrong. It's Colorado State. It's Ohio State, yeah. Oh, they have. Oh, they have. Here we go. They have Indiana. They're 25-point favorites at home.
Yeah.
I mean, just, these teams are just destroy these teams. Ohio State really wants
Indiana,
it up, though.
if I'm not wrong, I think Indiana 2 weeks ago had a Friday night game against Penn State. that's a thing now. They're starting to do Friday night because you got the NFL plays on Thursday, so they're trying to get some maybe some bigger type games to play on Friday. And a friend of mine's he graduated Penn State. He met his wife at Penn State. They have 2 kids. They both graduated from Penn State. Guy's kind of crazy for the Nittany Lions. Goes to every home game, the whole thing. But an interesting point and credit to Penn State. They will not play a Friday night game. Because their thinking is in Western Pennsylvania, Friday night is for high school football. And they don't want to take away from that. And I give them a lot of respect because I think that there's TV money on the table if they were going to do that and things like that. So,
all right, Joe, we got to wrap it up. The Yankees win tonight.
Guaranteed it.
The Yankees beat the Red Sox in a series.
All right.
And I think Houston beats Cleveland, and the Yankees beat Houston.
There you go.
Here first.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Enjoy the Yankees.